Dumelang, good morning, guys. It's a Monday. Sorry, Matlam. I'm kidding. Sorry, Matlam Masati. Good morning to everyone that's here. Dipulelo, Makupe, Bonkosi, Kabile, Katlewo. Hi, Nono. How are you doing, my sweet Nono? Hi, Popo. Hi, V. Good morning, guys. Good Monday. How are you doing, Nono? How are you feeling? You feeling better? Bangitshela ukuthi wena ufuna ukubaleka manje. I'm alright. It's just yawazi lama pain lawaya singeke siwabize ngegama. Bonkosi, akiri wena ulandela umfazi wakho. Akiri ulandela umfazi wakho. You are so welcome. Don't worry, wena, my friend. You can chill and listen to Awandabas. You can chill and listen to Awandabas. It's not that you're not welcome. I assume no, don't worry. It happens. It happens to the most of us. Do not worry. But how are you feeling? Are you better? Did you get that situation sorted out? Bonkosi usetse wena morago. Wena Makupe. That's why. As soon as he gets a notification to say my coupe is on a live, Liana Kurwa Emella are ye. Number niap. Kazuma coupe no bonkos ne. Bazongikhulumisa kakhulu ending yakula. Angifuni ukukhuluma kakhulu. Nina kusho ukuthi anifuni ukusibona sithulile. Good morning, McKinnon. Siyolala kulethu. Kokecho. I'm not gonna say much. Hi, Nhlonhlon. How are you doing on a Monday, guys? Oh, I am not feeling well. I'm not gonna lie. But I am. You sorted. That's good. That's good. And man, get ruler, man. Guys, wait. I wanna see if my lighting is gonna be better if I close here. Because I am. No, I'm telling you, my screen is not my screen. My Ilenciam. This is your life when you're 3 years old. Ilenciam. Yo, dentist visits. After I took off my braces, I made a vow to myself that I'm not visiting a dentist for the next coming 12 months. I'm going to be washing my teeth. I know you're supposed to go wash your teeth every 6 months, but I told my dentist, I'm not going to see him for the next coming 12 months. And in 12 months, but I'm still not ready. Because I took off my braces last year, May. And yeah, that's it. May was full 12 months. But I'm still not ready to go. So, sorry. Good luck. Good luck. Guys, I want us to... I'm riding alone today. And I know that I had said mostly I would like to do woman-to-woman talks on a Wednesday, preferably. Because Mondays are crazy. Upamkin uzabahambile ayekuMonday morning meeting lana, but I had to jump in today because I'm a co-host they're busy traveling. It's got some savings. But yeah, I wanted us to talk about, as you guys know, besides the fact that it's Women's Month, we have agreed that we are going to touch base at least once a week and speak about and speak about things, factors that are around factors around women, be it in households, be it in society, be it in relationships, be it in friendships, be it in family. But yeah, we are just trying to, how men always say, Tina, we never take accountability. So this is us trying to take accountability and trying to see where can we fix what, where can we be responsible, where can we be yeah, where can we play our parts as women. And the other day we spoke about we spoke about the modern days and the Western ways and all of that, but just in general, I think Makupe had came up with that topic. That she came up with. Yeah, Makupe had came up with that topic. But now, I want us to look at the same. Hi, Pizza. I want us to look at how we women do things nowadays versus how our grandmothers and mothers did things back in the days. Because and guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything that happens in relationships or in marriages is entirely because of women. But all I'm saying is we are here because we are saying that we want to take accountability and we want to see what can we do from our side to make things better. I'm not gonna say to fix things, but to make things better. And yeah, how can we be responsible from our end and not looking or pointing fingers at other people? How can we do a self introspection as women? So we can start by looking at the rate of divorce these days. Yo, guys, now I don't know what's happening. You guys, we are saying congratulations today. In the next coming 3 months, like the marriage is gone. I feel like these days we get into relationships with our bags ready by the door. So the smallest, the tiniest little thing, we are ready to just jump out. Like our bags are always ready. Like they are ready. They are always packed by the door. So I want us to look at what are we doing differently versus the older generation, be it our grandmothers and our mothers, and also not overlooking at the fact that abazali bethu bebabekezela, guys, and some of it nowadays we call it ubutoxic. So how do we maintain relationships? How do we nurture our relationships and our marriages? How do we make it work, but without also compromising ourselves in a way that we stay in abusive relationships or we stay in abusive marriages? Sorry. How do we make it work now in our modern version? Because like I'm saying, I feel like the generation yethu is always ready to pack and leave. Like bags way too are always right by the door. And this is why the divorce rate is sky high. It's just bad. It's congratulations every week, but every week we are on social media listening to a young beautiful lady telling us her divorce story. And it's young people, like young boma 90s, boma 2000. Because the other day I think I watched, she's got like parts of her videos. She's got like part 1 till about part 6. And she says she's only 26. A 26-year-old is already a divorcee. And at most, these people are married for like 6 months. At most, it's about 2 to 3 years. Something is wrong, guys. I'm not saying from our side or from our end, but I am saying what are we doing, or what can we do from our side as women to preserve our relationship, to preserve imishado yethu, you know. And Bunkosi, you don't have to run away. Bunkosi, you don't have to run away. Is the fact that it's Women's Month, or it's a woman to woman talk. It doesn't mean that men are not welcome, or you guys can always come through and say your piece, because I'm sure also you guys are so observant to certain things that we do and that you guys would like us to see. To take a look at, like to stop for a moment and take a look at whatever. Because like I'm saying, Kore, I feel like Basadi, our bags are always, Mamela, we are ready to pack and now and leave, Morning, Pumpkin.
Morning, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you, Mommy?
It's funny how you are mentioning to pack and no to leave. When I say my situation has been sorted, I mean it's sorted and we are loving each other. So I'm not going to leave that man. We had a very long heart to heart. And yeah, and he apologized and he said he was sorry for pushing me and stuff like that because he needed this and nana. But that's sorted out. So when you speak about that, I was like that for the longest time of my life, where because I don't take, no nonsense kind of a woman. I don't take kaka nje lightly. So nami, when if you make one mistake, I used to leave and stuff like that. But then also that's why I never wanna give advice to married women, because I'm not married. Because my first thing will be hamba uhleleleni, why would you stay in such a relationship and stuff like that. So guys, there's certain things that obviously we're not gonna stay for, like for instance abuse. I think also, like the past weekend, the reason why I wanted to delete TikTok was because I was triggered by that story saka mfazi wakalikau, that lady with drip.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I was like, let me take a break from this, because the things that she's going through now, Namaj, even Penwell spoke about it. It's like, why are people getting married? Why are we allowing ourselves to be in such situations? And forgetting that we cannot relate each other's stories, really. It's important for you to understand that not all stories are the same. Not all men are the same. Not all women are the same. We are totally different. If when you come with your traumas and then try to, pushing out and say, yeah, men are like this, nani, you will never be happy in any relationship. You cannot go around listening to different stories and relate them to your story. Yes, there's stuff that you can relate to, but now you are making a decision based on someone else's story. Now I cannot go around and say to people, I'll never get married or whatever. Okay, you guys know I'll never get married, but because of other reasons. But I'm just saying, Guti, like I cannot go around and say men are the same, I must be careful of this and that. Nanani, umuntu lo ufuna ukungiskema, he wants money from me, because people have related that story with other people's stories. So I said, it's fine, now. And the first thing that he asked me was like, say because of what? What are we learning for? Can we sit and talk about this? Because I don't understand why you would, just jump and say and decide which one I was a fully relationship because I asked money from you. Is it not important for me to ask money from you as a partner? And then I did explain to him, these are the reasons why, and I felt like you were pushing me to take out a loan for you and stuff like that. And then, the reasons he gave me behind that were so solid, and I understood where he was coming from. Now he was acting out, I was acting out as well. But then I cannot go around and be like, ufuna ukumscama lona ithi ngimlahle izinto ezinjalo. So I've really had to just sit down and talk to him and think about it. Luckily I didn't tell my mom, because my mom was gonna just say hamba. My mom is the last straw. When I want to make a decision, I ask my mom, I speak to my mom about it and stuff. So abantu abasahlali kuma-relationship when because people want to relate stories, especially on social media. If you're going to listen to everything that everyone says on social media, you'll be doomed for the rest of your life. You will never take risks. You will never open your heart to other people. You'll never even be able to even understand or find yourself, because when you're living through other people's stories, and it's so unfair. That's one thing that you can do to yourself, unfair and ibuhlungu, because when you want to relate to other people's stories, yes, things do happen, guys, but then social media, guys, no, social media will just break us into pieces. And if you're gonna be always on a lookout of, looking for things as in negative, you will never find happiness. You'll never be happy with anything in life, and you'll never be happy with anything about yourself in life, because when you want to relate to other people's stories. So the reason why I came up was that we are relating each other, relating other people's stories to our own, and it's never the case most of the time. You just want to look for reasons to leave and back uhambe, because when you can, there's certain things that you're not gonna deal with when it comes to men and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, and that's the thing. That's why I'm saying, how do we learn to go within line between compromising yourself if you are now abusing yourself, and versus to, okay, even the smallest tiniest little thing, like I said, I'm ready to, but it's not even I'm ready to leave, like I'm a bags ready are always already packed by the door and we're just ready to leave, you know. Versus, so my thing now is, how do we differentiate between compromising yourself into a toxic relationship, and also being a woman? And when Kasutu, when they say musadi utwara thipa ka bohale, or where the knife is sharp, you know, like, does our generation know how to do that? Do we know how to stand for indaba zethu and stay in relationships, or Tina, because we are young and independent and we hold degrees to our names, we are not going to stand for anything? And this is why we always have our bags ready packed by the door. How do we differentiate? Go to, okay, do I give him a chance? And if you remember very well, that's what I said to you on Thursday. I said, at this point, I can't tell you to leave, I can't tell you to stay. Listen to your instinct. And if, for me, I felt like, and I remember I still say to you, have a conversation with him and let him know, Guti, lenta kayenzile is pushing you out of the door. So it's a matter of, are you willing to give it another shot, judging from how you've been observing him? I mean, you did mention that he's a good guy, and so far wins and wins and wins. And so are you willing to let go of that just because of this one thing? Or you are just that one strike person? You did this one thing, and I mean, he did this one thing, and for you, it's just I am done. It's not even negotiable. I remember Makupe was like, for her, it is, it's done. And that's her also, and that's her. It's fine. That's what she's for. But my thing is, do we realize, Uguti, do we realize at that time, Uguti, are we letting go of a good thing, or you just know this one is just not gonna work, type of thing? How do you know if you're letting go of a good thing just because of that one tiny little mistake? Where else, you hear stories about women that took risks, women that persevered, and you look at their marriages now, and they stuck up and their marriages are working out now. Where else, when the smallest tiniest little mistake, you were like, listen, me bro, I guess eat. Where do we draw the line? Where do we? Yeah, no, it's a bit tricky. Good morning, Makupe.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
You're in South Africa.
Yep, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. I'm a bit tired still, but I will soldier on. Um, you know, this is my stance on Mojolo and relationships and marriages is that this thing is the lotto. Um, you can sit the whole day, o mong a o botse gore beja di odd numbers fela, o mong a re use your birthdays and important dates, o mong just randomly bets random numbers and they win. And you go and try to find all these systems and you don't win. And it's tough to talk about marriage when you're not married. It's tough to talk about something that you've never really experienced but only observed. I understand that I believe that I am extremely privileged to have been exposed from a young age to different examples of successful marriages. I grew up in what I believe is a successful marriage. My sisters are in what I believe are successful marriages. I've seen and observed marriages breaking down, people that I love so much, both the husband and the wife. And it also affected me in a certain way. I was raised, for a long time, and it's also in what I think was a critical time of my life. I lived with my aunt who is divorced. She got divorced twice. And her view on marriage and divorce is also very beautiful because she never discouraged me because of her pains. She never sits there and is like, men are trash. She's an advocate of marriage because her daughter is married and she advocates for her marriage. And I think that in as much as we are a total sum of experiences and observations of other people, whether we like it or not, what you see and what you learn forms a huge part of who you are. Whether you accept those teachings or you reject them, it's a part of who you are. So we need to be careful of that. And something that Pumpkin raised about social media is something that we need to be very careful of, because I think we also live in a time where if Makupe is this articulate and passionate person, we just think and we just take what she's saying because she's presenting it in such a beautiful way. It seems like something that should be followed. Um, we see that a lot. There are people that are such well-spoken people that they are convincing people to do rubbish. If you listen to what they're saying, actually, it's just well-presented nonsense, you know? So we need to pray for spirits of discernment. I think people need to work on being more self-aware, understanding the context of your life, and seeing if you can apply what so and so is saying. So, like what you said, Hore, my instinct when Pumpkin said the situation with the money, borrowing money, for me, it was a no because of my experiences. Like, I'm sorry, men have hurt me so much. Like, they have caused me a lot of pain. And a lot of it has come from financial abuse. And for me, if somebody's going to come to me early on in the relationship, I'm really sorry. And I pray to God that He doesn't put me in that position where now it's going to be somebody who's meant to be in my life, but they are triggering such a painful memory in me. And I just can't stand it because going forward, I won't be able to trust His intentions. Wabo? So that is my personal experience. And when we come to such platforms, I think that when a person comes to such platforms and asks for advice, they need to know where they are at
Yes.
and understand their personal context, and whether or not what we are advising them, what I say, what Mponyana says, what Sabelo says, what Leroy says, does that apply to my life?
Yes.
Because those four people on their own, they have completely different experiences and completely different views, and they can only speak from where they are from. So you need to um, you need to apply accordingly, and not apply because Mponyana speaks better than me, um, because Sabelo's vocab is richer than mine. Um, be like, listen with understanding. So I think that's part of the problem of where we're at. We listen not to understand. We live in a time of instant gratification. So it's tough. But now I don't know anybody. The example when I'm Ponyana man. So I personally have not observed that women always have their bags at the door and ready to go. I guess I'm fortunate to still know women that are quote unquote begazelling. Personally, I'm a chief begazelist myself. Uh, I know women even that are still dating that are not married yet are begazelists of note. So yeah, I am yet to experience it. The only time where I've seen that women are ready with their bags at the door is on social media.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes social media doesn't reflect the realities of what's happening behind closed doors.
That is so true.
So yeah.
But looking at how Runa now, our generation, the women in our generation, looking at how we do things versus to how our grandmothers and mothers did things. What would you say, or what do you think we can do differently to preserve our relationships or our marriage? Do you think we've somehow lost the plot with the way that we do things nowadays versus to what our mothers and grandmothers did back in the days?
I don't think we've lost the plot. I think we are adjusting. I think we are evolving. So it is that conversation of modernization and westernization. It's I don't there are some principles and values that we can preserve, but it's not realistic to apply them the way the women from 3 generations ago applied them. So it's something that I also strongly believe is preserving the why and focusing. So what we need to really finesse is the how. That's what we need to agree on as women and adults of now. Hore, how are we how are we implementing go kgotlelela? How are we implementing being nurturers as women that educated, as women that contribute as bargaining providers, as women that the entire world is at the tip of your fingertips. So maybe women from 100 or 50 years ago didn't have access to that many men. So maybe they weren't that exposed to temptation as much as we may be. So how do we then adjust to that? So I think we now where we must be now. Personally, my opinion is that we need to sort of hone in on the principles that we feel are important, or understand the why of why women did A, B, and C 50 years ago, and how and why that worked for their marriages, and how we now can apply that relevant to the lives that we are living now, because that, I think, is what's making it seem like we are failing as women, is that we are expected to apply things from a different time, and apply it exactly the way those women applied it. And and then the women from 50 years ago probably seemed more modern, and maybe they also seem like to women from 50 years before them. So each generation has their own challenges, and each generation must face and and fix certain problems in a way that is practical for them, you know? So yeah, let's just preserve the how, guys. I mean the why.
And also to add on what you just said, when I'm a coupe, like um things have evolved and times have changed, you know. So we can't literally still do things exactly as, you know, 4 generations from now. But for me, there are still things like the treatment, stuff like respect. You know our generation, we always view, and I know Mponyana is with me on this one, because I remember there was a time when we've had this conversation before, where we spoke about how our generation is not willing to submit, you know. And we always speak about how submission is natural, how it comes natural, you know, given the treatment that you get from men. But also, we can also start by coming into a relationship, and I mean coming into a relationship with a submission type of mentality, you know. And I think I don't know if it's just social media, like you just said now, you know, but I feel like our generation has lost the plot when it comes to that. They think when you say that you want to be submissive to your man, and you want to give your man a platform, you know, gore abe monna, they think being submissive is being a doormat. They think being submissive is being style, you know, it's being an idiot for a man, and that man can just order you around, you know, in the same sense that you hear men saying after they pay lobola for you, they own you, you know, like, yeah, no, times have changed, and even the way that we think has changed, because your circle is extremely important. Something else, yep. And that is so true, you know. And I think also another thing that plays major roles in these relationships is, I mean, this is Nom shared the story the other day on our woman to woman segment last week, how this one lady saw her neighbor getting allowance, but it wasn't necessarily allowance, but she ended up pushing her husband for the allowance. So seeing things from Ukoketo and saying I want that, or seeing things on social media, I feel like we yeah, I feel like we advertise our relationships for the public. You know, it's all about what we look like to the public versus what we really are in our reality. And for me, that's also how we lose the plot, because we end up living for what people think and what people say versus what we really for. I mean, why we even got into a relationship, why we got married, you know. And yeah, that's just my take. Good morning, Mpunyana.
Good morning, Auntie Sabs. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can, baby.
Oh, okay. Ga ke itse ke tsena mo live-eng ka kry invite instantly. I ke itse le gore topic e thomile ko kae, but I'm hearing.
So we are speaking about why do you think that we've the nowadays the now generation,
Yeah.
women obviously has lost a plot versus to our mothers and grandmothers, because I personally have noticed that one thing about our relationship, our generation, is our bags are always ready packed by the door, you know. How do we differentiate begezeling, the healthy begezeling? Because I mean, you have to begezela to a certain degree versus to now you begezeling nonsense and being in a toxic relationship. And yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm getting feedback. I don't know if it's my mic or what,
Not from
but
my
there's an
side.
echo.
Getting feedback. Good morning, Lee.
Okay, so with what you're saying, I don't think we've lost the plot. Subs, I can hear the feedback on my side.
Let me try and mute on my side.
Please, please. Thank you. So I don't think we've lost the plot. As you guys have already touched on social media and its effect on relationships. The things that we see on social media are not a reality of a majority of people in this country or in the world, right? So how kaya ka social media vele o tlo latlhega. But on the point ya gore we are ready to leave, unlike our grandmothers and our mothers and I think it's the thing ya gore we have seen how hubegezela can affect a person, because we've seen our grandmothers being begezelists of note and what it would do to their emotional well-being. So I don't think we would like that for ourselves as well. That is why we are here today. People are always ready to leave, but I think this would be minimalized a lot if people would be honest from the onset. Hore, these are my intentions. This is what Mpho wants from this. This is what Sabs wants from this. So that we can gauge hore, in the future, as time goes, are we still going to be on the same page? Unlike Ritle, and then we decide, oh no, we're going to be winging it. And then 5 years into the relationship, we find out, oh, actually, we don't have the same end goal. And then we've wasted 5 years of nothing, you see? So I think effective communication, like Ndatis Khoturi is always preaching, is important. When you're still effective communication, like when you're still talking before you get into a relationship, you need to ask the deep and intense questions, even though that may be very scary to some, but we all looking for truth. We all looking for honesty. So talking it out in the beginning will save a lot of relationships. But we have not lost the plot. Times change, times people evolve, and people want better for themselves. Okasiri abusiwa, maybe not physically, but emotionally, verbally, and then you're gonna say, no, ke batla go bekezela mosadi tshwara thipa ka bogaleng. You are not doing yourself any justice. And it's, if every relationship it's, you're gonna have to take some accountability and be like, okay, but why am I attracting these kind of people? What am I doing wrong? Where am I looking for these men? And what can I do to better myself in order to find a suitable partner? Because I think that's what most of us do. We always preach, hey, I want a great partner, a partner who does this and this and this. But are you deserving of that partner? Wayne, yeah. I'm gonna hold it there for now.
Thank you, Mponyana. Yeah, no, definitely, guys. I think if there's one thing in about this family is we always preach Khori. People can begazela, but not begazeling nonsense. We don't promote people staying in toxic relationships because if there's one thing we are trying to heal more than anything. So we don't want anything that's already messing up with our mental states, you know. Good morning, baby B.
Morning, guys. Yeah, ubekezela vile, yeah, it's something else. Like, yeah, ubekezela even in marriage is something else. So, uyabekezela, but your mother doesn't like love you. Like, is a lot. Like when your mother-in-law doesn't love you, every time when you go to your husband's house, like, we are from Lapo, you're always crying. I always cry to my mom all the time.
Sorry, baby B. Hey.
I really always cry to my mother all the time. And I always tell my mom how my stepmother is like, the mother-in-law is like, he always has some negative things to say to me. I don't know why. And I always tell my husband. And my husband was like to me, no, it's fine. As long that we visit just for 2 days, then we come back. Don't take it at heart, and you're gonna be fine. And I always, when I tell my mom always say, but Tina, umntwana ke simphatha kahle. We never have that thing. So why do you fana kuphathe kabi kanje? Then I was like, hey, I think this is part of marriage, you know. And if I knew what Kuzoba saw in my life, like getting a husband, all right, but his mom is always have negative things, and he always said to me, last time when I went there, he said to me, even though we celebrate our marriage, he won't even come to my like side and I don't know what to do. Like I always tell my husband, "Good, when you cross on, because your family again, I'm not gonna go there because I'm not always welcome to them." Then my husband was like, "Yeah, let it be. It's gonna be like that for the rest of your life." And really, guys, in Patagabi, I don't wanna lie, but anyway, I can say good as in yeah. Ukubekezela ya elifini yasebekezela kwezinye izinto mara ukubekezela to mother-in-law, it's always difficult. I don't wanna lie, but anyway, yeah, thanks for the topic.
I am so sorry that you have to go through what you're going through. I don't know the whole full story with but just taking from what you just said now. When all of that, so when your mother-in-law speaks to you, awfully or marakchutagabi, when she mistreats you, does she do it around your husband?
No, when my husband is not there, he will say some things like my daughter, ne, he's very young, he's 2 years, so my daughter likes playing, but when he sees his grandmother, which is my husband's mother, akafuni nokuya kuye, akafuni. So what she says that actually because of, okay, mina I'm from Gauteng, I'm not from KZN. So he says to us, oh, okay, because of you're from Gauteng, shuthi abantu base Gauteng bebatshela ukuthi ungezi kugogo wase KZN. I'm asking myself, why do you have to say that?
Has your husband attempted, like, tried to have a sit down with his mother before to address this matter?
Yeah, he did so many times, but Mama Konunenkane, I don't wanna lie. But as in, like when I'm far from here, yo, I'm so happy. When it's December time, when we go there, I feel like, oh, here again, I wonder uzothini manje uphethe in story. So yeah, you just go to, when you are married to your husband and your husband kahle and everything, and one thing that I can say, my husband always tried to speak to umamake, but umamake is always have this. Yeah, ulo mama. I don't know what's going on with her, but every time I always pray to God, which has maybe one day will be fine, one day will be fine. But even my husband, uyasho ukuthi okay by 7 kubone, but umama kunokufona asho ukuthi uthanda abantu, like angaboni my husband, like asho some bad things about my husband and what husband wami futhi aze alwe naye umama wakhe ukuthi hayi mama wena njalo nje noma singakwenzela ini, you won't even appreciate, you understand. So umama wakhe nje unenhliziyo embi, angazi ukuthi when ukuthi izoba right nini. I really don't know. And futhi I think in June when we went, it was like to my husband, no, because bayenza umsebenzi. I was like, yeah, because sizoyenza umsebenzi, how about you use the money that angithi celebrate umshado wethu, how about my husband use that money so that bayenza umsebenzi ngawo. And my husband was like, no, ngintshele ngathi le mali engizoyisebenzisa for what. Why fana abe kanje? I really don't understand her. I really don't, you know. But yeah,
ngicela ukukududuza mina.
yeah,
The greater part about all of this is it's not your husband that's mistreating you. Kodwa in-law.
mm,
You have a beautiful husband okunakekelayo and who take care of you physically and even your mental health. You know,
yeah,
you are saying yourself ukuthi sometimes umama yakhe naye unokulwa naye. So
yeah.
if akhona ukuntula abantwana bakhe, who are you?
Who am I? You know?
I'm not married. I've never been married before, but I'm the youngest of abosisa baningi, and half of my older sisters are married. And my dad always says to them, when they come home crying, my dad always says to them, "Why ufuna ukuthi akuthande njengomama wakho because akusumama wakho?" Like, I'm not saying Melak Zonde, I'm not saying she must ill treat you or mistreat you or anything like that, but in your case, she even has that with her own children. So
Yeah. True.
another light in all of this is you are far from her. You don't have to deal with her every day. You don't have to. So it's this thing, you know, my aunt always says, my aunt who is married to my uncle, uncle being my father's younger brother.
Yeah.
So she will always says, yo, when Asabelo awards, whenever I come here, she always says, because whenever they come for funerals or unveiling or whatever, and they'll be around the site and for like a day or two. And she knows Gutugunabo, like certain aunts of mine, which are her sister-in-laws that she says, Mangko saying coming the side. Ngqoka strength, ngqoka courage, and like ngqoka everything that I feel that I need to face Abu and Baku. That and ngqoka nama bulletproof that whenever I meet with them and I have to speak to them, whatever that comes out of their mouth, it doesn't have an effect with me because I've accepted this is who they are, and
Yeah.
anything to change them. And sometimes dwell on what people do to you, but not realizing that umuntu yena uyoshodayo, umuntu uyenovoid. You know such comments like abantu abasegoli kusho ukuthi egoli nenza so abantu basegoli. That person, I'm already sensing a jealousy because I'm staying in Kenya and you guys are staying in Joburg. You know? And we think that jealousy comes from our peers or abantu abancane, like our younger generation only, but even abantu abadala. I know umama who has jealousy ngabantwana bakhe every time abantwana bakhe they find good men or they get married or like into good men, she will try and mess it up for them. And it doesn't make sense because abantwana bakhe, but because she never had that, every time she's got 4 daughters, every time her daughters find good men, she will mess it up. Like she finds it in herself. And you can't do anything with people like that because if void is in them and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry that you have to go through so much. but just tell yourself ukuthi every time uyabuye, let it pray about it and ask for strength and the courage to ukuthi uyomface for that time. And my like I said, ukuthi squeeze aunt wami will always say, I just wear whatever for ngitshela ukuthi for the 2 days le ngiyoqina indlela engakaze ngiqine ngayo, just for 2 days, knowing ukuthi le 2 days mayiphela ngiphuma lapho ngiflathela, I'm going to my lovely home with my lovely husband. I don't have to go through anything. I don't have to deal with this. I will deal with it next time again, Mangu. The most beautiful part is you have your husband on your side. If it was your husband, it would have been a different thing. But if it's in law that you deal with once in December, or once there's Musebe, or once there is a funeral, whenever you're going to meet up now, just pray for strength and pray for the courage and program up bulletproof and smile instead. And that's how sometimes you defeat people. You know, when and you are just so soft and so kind, eventually uzokhathala.
Yeah.
But
It just ukuthi nesiphathi ukuthi when my husband azayithi kumnandi yonke into i-right yonke into, but asiya kufamily yakubo, it's something. But ngiyabonga kakhulu sis for everything.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for coming through. We hope that you will feel better by the end of the live. I trust ngicela umamela uSis Noms. I don't know if you've listened to Sis Noms before, but you'll definitely you will be left laughing. You will going to laugh your problems away.
Okay.
Brenda. Hi Brenda.
Hi sis, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Wow, what an interesting topic, you know. It's so good to learn from each other most of the time. And if I can just go a little bit from before I just make my submission to Ooh Baby B. How are you, sis? I hope you're doing good.
I'm alright. Besides main problem, I'm alright. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to address a bit Baby Bean, just a little bit with what she said. I just want to say I'm really sorry that you have experienced that and you are experiencing that. It's not a good feeling at all, and you don't deserve that, you know. And she doesn't have a right to treat you that way. But at the same time, when you look at it, you know, in life we will always go through test. In everything that we have, that we go through test in order so that we level up or we become better people than the people we were before, you know. So me, when you speak, I'm hearing just a test for you to learn to love someone even when that person doesn't love you, even that person is not kind to you, but you give kindness. You know, remember that the devil was killed by the love of God. He was killed by love, you know. So when you give love to a person who doesn't deserve it, you know, that person start to succumb to that love. He started to understand that, you know what, this person has never done me anything bad. It's me always, you know, pushing her around and doing this. Kill her with kindness, kill her with love, you know, give her so much love that, you know, she will be shocked. I was married and I got divorced. So I used to have the mother-in-law you're talking about. She's nothing compared to the mother-in-law I had. You know, the mother-in-law I had, she was the worst. You know, but always I took her like a mother, and I would always forgive her. You know, that is very important. So I think maybe if you look into more of forgiving, you know, even when someone never said forgive me, but do forgive them, and know that you are doing it for you, because now you are crying, and that cry, it just tells me that there is so much that you are holding in your heart against her. That is why that now it hurts you to the point that you are crying even to this day when she's not, when she's there in Durban and you're here, you know. So I think that you need, maybe if you can try to practice forgiveness. Just forgive her, and always love her as a mother. It doesn't matter what she does to you. Ask God, pray and ask God to say that whatever she say, may I not hear what she's saying to me, and close my ears, God, to her voice, so that I don't hear what she's saying. And I'm telling you, you won't hear what she's saying, and you will forgive her and love her still. Kill her with kindness until she has no choice but to know that you are a good person and you are different than her. You are not the same as her. Show that when you are squeezed as a lemon, there must be a lemon juice that comes, not any other thing, that is not of you. Because if you know that you are a loving person, when you are squeezed, love must come out, not bitterness. Because once you hold grudges and all that, you are going to be bitter, you're going to be angry, and now the very same problem is going to come in your marriage, because your husband will never choose you over the mother, no matter what he would say. I've been married, I know. I know, especially from where I come from. Boys with their mothers, you can never separate them. Even if the mother is a witch, even if the mother is wrong, they will never separate. So all you have to do, don't try to water what she's doing, because of now she's trying to bring something into the marriage, and when you don't see, because now and then you go back to your husband, say, "Mina angisayi ebantwini bagini." What are you saying? You are bringing something else when you're doing that. That will open the door for problems to come in your marriage. Because now when you no longer go with him, Egibo, then he's going to start bringing someone. God forbid. But that's how men tend to start cheating, because of when he can't take you with you, Egibo. So what he will do, he will bring someone else, Uguta hambe na Egibo, because when you're always complaining about the mother. Naye umama ke ene, he knows that the mother is not okay and he's not doing the right things. But because it's his mother, he humbles himself and go there to his mother. So you need to support him. It's about supporting each other. It's about partnership. Partner with your husband and support him. When you go there, know that you are going to support your husband, and just tell yourself, Uguti, this mother has got childhood traumas and she's bitter and she's trying to take it out on you, because maybe you have something better than what she ever had. If you look at it that way, I think you will have an understanding on how to deal with this issue, rather than allow the issue to come into your marriage, and the next thing, you and your husband, you are starting to fight because of the issues of mothers-in-law and all of that. So yeah, I'm done on that side. Let me just make my submission. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, I think as women, what we tend to do is we come from homes that are broken. Some of us are raised by our single parents, by our mothers. Some of us, we are raised by only our fathers, and that creates a childhood trauma. We are traumatized. There's a lot that is going on in our lives. So I always say that before one can engage in any type of a thing, relationship and all that, go to war with yourself. Sit down with yourself and check exactly the traumas that are there. If you are trying to search the traumas, you can't find them, then get therapy. Go, even for free. If you say that I don't have money to pay for therapy, at the clinics they do give therapy and all that. There are psychologists. You go there, you get a psychologist, you get someone that you can sit down with, so that you can offload, and you get to a point whereby you learn to forgive, to say that, what, even when someone has never asked for forgiveness, let me learn forgiveness, because I am going to partner with someone that I don't know how far they would hurt me, because I want to enter into a relationship. I'm going to partner with someone that I don't know how far their family can go with hurting me. So let me learn it while I'm still single. Let me work on myself while I'm still single, so that when I meet someone, I have done the work myself and I have better myself, because most of the time we look at our degrees, the cars that we drive, our businesses and all of that, but we don't invest in ourselves to make us be better people. Forgive easy, love a person who doesn't even love you, be kind to other people. Doesn't matter how they may come across, when it comes to you. And those are the first things that as a person, as a woman, we need to address, and you overcome your mind to say that all the negativities that are trying to absorb your mind, to say that men are dogs, men are cheaters. Overcome those things before you can even come back to someone and sit down to say that let's start a relationship. If you are full of negative mindset, you will find someone and you will say while you are there, those negativity will start to arise. And when they arise, you start to feel rejected. Hey, you are rejecting me. Hey, you are always not here. You start to complain. And those things will make that person to repel you, to be away from you and not want to spend time with you. That is why we always say that you have to have a high level of vibration of a certain frequency to vibrate at a certain frequency that you meet someone at your standard. When we're talking about standard, we're not talking about material thing. Love has nothing to material thing. It has everything to do with your behavior, your character, your mindset, your spirituality. Love has to do with those things because love is spiritual. But we have diminished and taken down love into materialistic things. That is why at the end of the day, we are so lost. We are talking Uguti, we need to begezela. But when it's time to date, what do we do? You go one time to drink a coffee with a man. The next thing, you are in that man's house, you are having sex. You don't even know that person. And you don't think, Uguti, as a woman, I am spiritual. When I open my doors and allow someone comes to come in me and see it through me and see in me and enter into the realms of my spirit, then I need to understand who this person is. Where does this person come from? But we don't do that. After just one cup of coffee, nama chips restaurant, then when you get out of there, you feel good. Now I'm ready for sex because this guy is driving V-Class. This guy has got money and all that. We sell ourselves so cheap. And the next thing, when we enter into marriage or we enter into a relationship, now we start to say, he's a cheater. He's this and that. Those are the things you are supposed to see before you can even open yourself to that man. Those are the things you're supposed to see. You're supposed to be so jealous about yourself. You're supposed to love yourself to that point whereby you tell yourself, Uguti, I'm not a dustbin. Uguti, onkumuntu must come and just throw themselves inside of me. And they leave me with things that will damage me for a lifetime. They leave me with things that spiritually they will enter into my life and destroy me so bad. So we rush ukubheka izinto zematerial. We forget ukuthi when you enter the bedroom side, awulali ne-BMW in that bedroom. You don't. You don't come with that bank account doesn't ayipenduki ingubo for wena. That money doesn't turn to be ingubo zakho ozigcokayo. No, it's not. So we need to have a mindset where we think critically as women and to understand that we have the key and we have the right to say yes or no. And we must stop being selfish to remember, Guti, Konje, you are going to bring children with this man. And with this man that you don't know, you are going to bring children who are murderers, who are killers. You are going to bring all these children. Kusasa soyamangala abantwana, they are just bahlaba abanye abantwana ezikolweni ngemimese because you went and took ubaba elukuthi is very dangerous and you never even thought about the future. When you were like, hey, I'm in love, usho in love ngebenz. It's not even because you don't even know what you love about that person. It's just materialistic. So we need to get to a point whereby we are emotionally intelligent. There is a place whereby we think critically so about our lives, and we understand how important is. We carry nations within us because of when when a man and a woman lie together, and the woman carries that child, you are birthing out a nation. And what kind of a nation are you bringing in this world? What are you saying? Do you think that really that man deserves you? Before we get into problems, yoguti, he's cheating, he's doing this, wimbegezela. Let's treat ourselves like a company. If as a woman you treat yourself like a company, you are going to treat yourself at a very high standard. Meaning that when a man comes, it would be that usubmita ECV, yeah, okay. And then you go through that CV, you vet that guy. Is he what he's saying he is? And after vetting him, you make time ukuthi magati you introduce awaka ngeni nokuthi you are going to bed with him. By that time you are still vetting this man. You go wazi family yakhe, and then you are able to know the family. What kind of family is this? What do they believe in? Can I gel in? Can I blend in with this man? Those are the things. You treat yourself like a company, so that tomorrow when you are married, you understand the hierarchy within the home. Immediately when you marry someone, what are you saying? You are saying, I will follow you wherever you go. I will allow you to lead me no matter what, even when I don't trust what you are saying, even when I don't see it. But because you are my leader and I chose you to lead me, then I'm gonna follow you. That is what you are saying when you start to get married to someone. So tomorrow you can't come back and say that I married a stupid man, I married a what. That means there was stupidity in you that drawed that man to come to you. If you say I married a cheater, that means there was deep within you, there was that part that of cheating that draw that man, because of we vibrate at a certain frequency. We are energy, and then you attract what you have within you. That is why it is very important that we go to war with ourselves and make sure that all those things that are not right within us, we take them out through prayer. That is why Jesus Christ said this kind can only be taken out through prayer and fasting. So when you start to pray and fast, don't pray and fast because of you are looking for a husband or a marriage. Pray and fast because you want to deal with issues that are in your life, so that you make sure uguti when you meet someone, when you say that now you are ready for marriage, you understand what you are saying, and you won't have to deal with issues uguti this husband is a stupid husband, I cannot be led by someone who's satanic. You chose that satanic person. It is you who did it. You said you will submit yourself into that. So let us be careful in whatever that we do. We have the power as women. We just need to find ourselves. And the only way a woman can get to the point whereby you know who you are and whose you are, it is the part whereby you connect with with the higher divine power, which is your maker, which is your Father in heaven. You are filled with the Holy Spirit so that you can be able to discern, is this person the right person for me or not? Because without discernment, there are crooks out there who will say, but baby, what kind of a man do you want? And then now we are jail. I want a sweet man. And then they start to pretend to be those things. And then the next thing you are married, boom, lomuntu loso to shinchil. Akashinchang. It is you. You did not take time. So let us take time. Let us stay in prayer. As women, we need to stay in prayer because of we are easily possessed by the enemy, which is the devil himself. We are easily possessed. We are easily convinced. So we need to stay in Yahweh Zagankulunkul. Thank you very much.
Yo. Listen, Lee Ntonayaka, I need you here to blow the horn. We have found Sis Nom's younger sister. The middle sister, I'm the younger one. I'm the youngest one. Yo, Sis Brenda, thank you so much. Thank you so much for dropping those bars. Yo, You know, the biggest thing that you are saying in everything that you've said now is also, women, can we take accountability? Can we take accountability? Can we? One thing we never preach kakhulu is umfazi is a prayer warrior in a relationship. You know, this reminds me of a story of, yo, suspender, you said so much. Like, you know what? Next time I'm gonna sit here with a notepad that when you guys speak, I'm gonna be taking notes, because you say so much, and when I want to speak, I'm gonna touch everything all at once. But yeah, it's a women's month, and with this show, Sis Brenda, this is exactly what we are trying to do. Like, we need women like you, women that have been, women that have experience, and women that are more wiser. Because like I said to Usis Biguti, I can only give advice based on what I've been through, which is not much. I mean, I've only been on Njolo. You have been there, you have been married, and you're divorced. You know, you have seen things, you know.
Yes, definitely.
And the biggest thing that we don't preach, guys, we need to pray.
Yes.
Pray. You know, my father would always say that, abafakazi, you are ready with the horn. Oh, sorry. Uli is ready with the horn. Uli is ready with the horn. This is Brenda. This is for you. This is.
Bona sis Brenda ke stamfa na. Gcwele.
Pamela. And guess what? This is
I'm so humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
And this is how we enter a woman's month. Sis Brenda, no, thank you so much. My father would always say that abafazi ama targets when it comes to usatani, because singeneka kalula. You know, you will find in utole, you are married, and I've heard the story gore, there was a couple, they were married, but someone was doing their own things and trying to get the husband, but they couldn't get to the husband because there was Usis Brenda here who was blocking those things from happening, because Usis Brenda was a prayer warrior.
Yes.
We are always advised by imikhuleko yabo gogo bethu, imikhuleko yabo mama bethu. Mama bethu and abogogo bethu are women. I don't think, like Usis Brenda said, we realize how much power we have as women.
Yes.
I don't think we do. You know, we are just spiritually gifted naturally without us doing even anything. You know, but I don't think that it is something that we as women realize that we have. But thank you so much for coming through.
And can I just quickly drop something? You know, when we are being raised by our mom, they tell us "Ukuthi ningathathe amaswidi to strangers, and do not enter into the cars of strangers. You know, do not go with a stranger anyway. You know, we are being taught those things, and because our mothers understand that as a woman you need to be protected, because you are the weaker vessel. Ukuthi someone can just come and say bamba maswiti, only to find that they are lowering you to somewhere, you know, so that they can harm you or do something that is not nice. But then now we are grown, we are women. Then when a man gives you money, you take that money. Sasa amaswiti, remember we've been taught to go to amaswiti from a stranger. Now a man comes and give you money, you don't know this man. You take money, then the next thing the man says, let's go to my house. You go there, magafika ati, let's have sex. Then you act shocked. Ukuthi, no, but I'm not ready for that. Like, where are we? You know, what's going on with us? Because even the teachings of our mothers, we have neglected them, because we were taught to don't take sweets, don't go with a stranger, don't enter the car of a stranger. But this day and age, we have grown, we are women, but we are still doing the very same thing. The next thing, we are raped. We come back, we open cases for raped, but we were told, Uguti, don't go with a stranger, don't enter a car that you don't know. So with that saying, I'm saying, let us grow, let us stop being little girls, let us grow to be a critical thinkers of women who understand what we are doing at what time.
Yes. I was trying to bring back. Kana ke mang na requestile ke mmona ke sa mmona yaanong because the pumpkin went down. Thank you so much, Sis Brenda. Ladies, are you listening? Do not accept ama sweets from a man when you are not ready to give in return what the ama sweet law were for. Sis Noms, I'm not sure if you are back. Sis Noms.
Hi, Sabs. I'll leave again, but I'll just be back for a few minutes. I don't know if I'm audible. Okay. What was the topic today? I know that I'm supposed to be clued up and stuff. Ningixolele, ningibekezelele.
I threw you on booked in. This topic is think that the woman in our generation has lost the plot versus the woman in the old. How do we draw a line ngokubegezela with preserving our relationships and our marriages? Because looking at social media these days, I feel like women always have their bags ready packed by the door. One tiniest little mistake, umuntu sekahambile uphumile, mina ngizomshiya phela ngizomdivorca. But how do we draw a line from begezeling nonsense and begezeling ngoba kusemshadweni no one said that it was going to be easy and certain things come as a test, you know? But because of we are in a new generation, we hold degrees to our names, we just feel good. I'm not gonna stand for this. So my bags are always ready packed by the door.
Ningixolele ngishare nodadewethu, so she's on a call. But ke Sabs, mina my own is that I think sibekezelela izinto ezirong. Ngize ngithi sibekezelela izinto ezirong. There are women who have come and told us what they sat through, and it is very shocking. So I think what I gauge when I stay with someone, I think I gauge your level of kindness and your level of consideration to me and to human beings in general and to the things that concern me. So no matter the mistake, I think I always gauge you around those things, because that for me measures what I can take from you and what you have brought as a human being. So as for, that's why we live for petty things, we stay for dangerous things. Some of us, you'll have your bags packed, and you will leave because social media has shown us that there's everything better out there. Sometimes we will stay for things that we could have acquired for ourselves. So it's very tricky. It's very tricky. But I think the most luckiest and blessed women are those who have not stayed for things that can be bought in Gemali, because most of us are going to stay because we are afraid of going back to rent our one-bedroom flats. We are afraid to move from Mercedes to Uber. Most of us will stay for that because anyway, standards are what we live for these days. But blessed are the ones who know their truth. Blessed are the ones who are capable of starting from scratch, because most of us are going to die in the hands of bad men because we simply can't start from scratch. Most of us are going to lose ourselves in the hands of evil men, because we simply cannot start afresh. We simply cannot lose certain things that don't even guarantee quality of life. Honestly, because I feel like if we had no Instagram, I think we would have been at peace. I think life is getting more tricky because the same people who are showing us flames in their relationships on Instagram come back after 2 days and tell us horrifying stories. And me, after that same 2 days, I have changed the whole dynamic of my life because I saw you flourishing. And then you come back and you change it, and now I must change again. do you see how we are being how we trick ourselves into certain things that were never necessary? They were never necessary. Trust me, now as I sit here, I believe that there are men who can give you 20K per month for nothing. But same subs will come back and say, for that 20K, I was sleeping with a snake. Like, it is bad, Minanje. Sometimes I see them on Instagram and I'm like, oh well, I move. I no longer take anyone serious on social media because I'm tired. Because someone recently told us that money is what rules us. And then someone came and said, I am receiving all the money I need, but it comes with punches. What are we supposed to do? And we are copying from the same people who are living with the devil. But when they come back, they never tell us that, hey, also change gears. Now I am changing because things are no longer how I portrayed them on Instagram. So, mina nje ngithi have a circle of friends or family that is very real, that is for you, because besides social media and what we tell ourselves, if you have real ones in your corner, they will tell you that actually this is what you should be seeing, and we know you so well. So for me, Nje, I've stopped looking at how social media portrays people, how people portray themselves to social media, because I think the other day I was talking to my husband. We were talking about baby number 3. So I jokingly said to him, had you prepared a push present, I would have given you baby number 3. Same, I think after an hour we spoke about that and we laughed and it passed. And then I get on TikTok. There's someone trending. She bought herself the pushover, but didn't push present. And I'm like, you see now. For a whole year, you made us believe that the push present was from your husband. How are we supposed to maneuver around this life with all the propaganda and all the deceiving that is being portrayed? Because it's no longer true, trust me. It's no longer true. And if you look at it now, we have a normalized, I don't know, we have normalized buying and being bought. The way money is ruling us, I don't know if it's only me who's now starting to be afraid of money. Because how I see money on social media. Girls with no matric are driving Range Rovers, and you are like, why am I still studying? Why am I still bothering myself? After 6 months, they come back, they have nothing. Kuningi for me, and I've learned what money is dangerous. I'm starting to see it now. What money is dangerous because we have forgotten the real reason why we get with human beings. I think maybe it was for them to love us and for us to love them as much as we love ourselves. We were there for emotional balance. We were there to just love each other. But now, problem came when people showed us money. We started believing in money, and now some people are married to things that to people that, like, honestly, when you look at them, you are like, is it for the sake of Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
Is it for the sake, like, I was so shocked. For instance, this situation of Uqinile. I thought it was a movie for me when they said this guy, they now have a child, but he went on to publish her sex tape, and that is when I knew that all of us are lost. I knew honestly we are losing the plot, because you cannot do that to the mother of your child. But because people are getting paid for views, people are getting paid for likes on social media, they do everything and anything. And honestly, if you do that, you can do it to Abu Kim Kardashian. I don't know how they do it, but you can't do it to the mother of your child. Your child is going to see this in a few years. She's going to see her mother trending because she once did something naked now. That's when I knew, no, it's chai for us. It's chai for us, and most will never come all right. most will never come all right, because money has told us that before everything there's money, and human beings don't matter anymore because of money. And I hope and pray that we remember that before money there were humans, and humans are the ones that made money. And we can't keep behaving like this, because it is becoming dangerous now. There's a lot that people don't tell us, but they enjoy, because money is money. And I think in terms of marriages, there are things I feel like no matter who you marry, can it not be someone you fear? Because a lot of women are married, shame, but they can't sit on the same table with their husbands and discuss, because I don't know if some husbands are now on God's level. I don't know. Because even the father who gave birth to you can still sit and say, Baba, I don't agree. So for me, it has become tricky. And if you are with someone who idolizes social media, if it's your partner, I don't think you are going anywhere, because whatever they consume there is what is real for them. Whatever they consume there is what is real for them. And for me, it no longer tastes. It no longer tastes right, because it is becoming more and more severe. We have TikTok. If you see the comments that people are commenting on Abolele Tikumalo, you can see that people no longer need humans that are going to assist them in life. No. We all want instant money, and if we don't get it, it seems like we're not gonna live anymore. Because if you see the comments on Abolele Tikumalo's TikToks, and you can see that any young man who doesn't remember, there's a man out there who has almost nothing, but he was blessed with direction for your life. There's a man who you're gonna meet one day who's going to be the one. Let me say you're dating someone who doesn't work, and then he gets a job as an Uber driver. He will take you to all your interviews. He will sit with you at night when you practice for your interviews. You will call within a minute. He flies. He's there. Sometimes not all of us were meant for rich men. I honestly believe that some of us were meant to marry wise men, kind men. It's not all of us who were meant to have life. I'm not saying we must not dream of it. No. I'm just saying that it's not all of us. Some of us were meant to just bet for lotto and live with ordinary men. But it is very peaceful when you keep getting quality of life. It is very peaceful like that. I don't want to lie. Some of you won't even know what to do with the millions. You won't even know what to do with them, because they will give you the millions. Like Sabs, some people have access to Louis Vuitton and Gucci. Do you see how they dress? Some of them you are like, wow. No. But you know that you gave it to the wrong person. Even the sense of fashion, you can see Uguti, no, Shem. It would have been better even if you were living ordinarily like us, because you can't even match it. Like you can, some of them, they don't even have class. Money everywhere, but no class at all. Zero class. Imagine going into a restaurant with a man who screams when he talks. Zero class. Money everywhere, but zero class. No quality of life. Doesn't know how to greet people with dignity. My God, imagine he throws money everywhere, but he is so blunt. Doesn't even know how. He speaks a lot of nothing. Keeps swapping and tapping on everything. My goodness. If you have sons like me, they begin to lose respect, and they start saying your boyfriend as Kanda. A whole man who's driving a Viano, and then they'll start telling you, Mama, your boyfriend, shame. Like your boyfriend, honestly, he will throw money everywhere, but there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So I shame, especially nje for those who are struggling with abo mother-in-law shame. Mina nje, my advice is that certain behaviors will drag you, because I remember at some point I now look back and be like, I should not have gone lower. People will always go low. Trust me, people will always go low. And if you don't have the right tools to handle that, or you don't have the wisdom, you'll go lower. And the things you'll say with your mouth, they will shock you a few years down the line. To say, is it me who stood and debated with a woman, with another woman, especially a woman who gave birth to my husband? Like mina njengithi, if it's distance you need, take some time off, because people will go lower and you will go lower now, and sometimes it's not worth it. Njengoba ngisho ngithi, the words you say to people will come back and haunt you. Imagine if you remember saying, sleep with your son mos mangabe uyamthanda. That will haunt you one day, because you have said something that was out of character. Not out of character because you are respectful, but out of character because it's something that is not you. You could not have said that. You could not have said that. I mean, I always say to my son, if you want to leave someone because I like them, then it means you are a very weak young man. Leave a person because they have betrayed or hurt you personally. If Mina, I don't like them, don't worry. I'm only me, your mother. I'm not God. I'm not everyone. You'd find that I don't like her because she possesses certain characters that I have, but it means nothing. So no matter how I'm toxic I will be, never mind, because anyway, I am just me, one person, and if you have found the right one, I will come around. I will come around, trust me, but never leave any wife, girlfriend just because I don't like her. And I will never tell you all my secrets. Maybe Jay, she was born from your father's ex. And I can't say that because I am me. I'm a criminal. I will never say the truth. It's because she was born or she resembles your father's ex. So, Mina, my problem with this is that when they go lower, we go lower not. When they go low, we go lower. And years down the line, your kids have seen you go lower. Your kids have seen you push an old woman out of a kitchen. Please, if you are blessed enough to have your own house, stay at your house, give them space, see them when it's necessary, and be at peace, because trust me, when you are haunted, the things you say, Minanje, luckily my son has never seen it when I've gone lower, because had he seen that, my son is very peaceful. He gets shocked even when I disagree with people on the phone. He's be like, So imagine if he had seen me at that time when I went lower. Imagine what it would have done to him to see me like that. Imagine.
As much as sometimes it gets like really bad and like really out of hand, but like I said, Guti, Mina, Abosisbam, they are married, and whenever they would come at home and complain about their mother-in-laws, the first thing that my dad will ask you is she your mother? Is she your mother? Why do you expect her to love you or treat you as the same as your own mother? Hi, Sis Nano. Sis Nano, you are late. Why do you want her to treat you as the same as your mother? Because she's not your mother. So the biggest thing for me is having your husband by your corner. Because remember, when you go to another family, yagubo, you don't know anyone there. He's the one that knows you and knows them. So you basically don't know anyone there. You are there because of him. He should be guarding you. He should be protecting you. And he should just be your shield. And for me, if you have your husband by your corner, guys, everybody else and anybody else can just follow after. I'll deal with you guys whenever I come to your house and I have to deal with you. But besides that, I don't have to stress. Makupe, your hand was up, ne? 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it even has a cramp by now. But I think I wrote down what I wanted to say. There was something that was going on in the comments that I wanted to sort of address. I think I get it today. We made a conscious. So I think in other people's defense, they joined the live late and they didn't really understand what we are talking about. But I think one of the things that you mentioned was it's about women taking accountability. So today we are not going, in as much as yes, we acknowledge that men have their own things and ways that they are contributing to the problem. Today we are speaking about us as women, or what is our contribution? And exactly. And often when we are talking about a group of people, and we are trying to solve a problem amongst us or address a problem amongst us, there's an instinct to say, when he motho a re basadi ba dira so, a ke re bolela ka basadi ba re basadi ba dira so, then one of you will come and be like, hey, not all women. We know that it's not all women. But here we are talking about one, those that do it, or how do we address it? And those that don't do it, how are you fixing, how are you being part of the problem? So you already know that it's not all women. So when how are you helping and contributing to the problem? And another thing that I've noticed is also another trend that's going on. Ke gore, when you are trying to take accountability for your people, so like now we are talking about women, when we are trying to take accountability as women, it doesn't mean you must bash other women to prove that you want to be accountable. So, for example, if we are trying to solve Dabaya, gore basadi ba rata tšhelete and stuff like that, let's not victim blame, let's not slut shame, let's not do all these things that are demeaning to you, because I get you are women as well. So when you say these things about women, you are speaking about yourself. So do it with love. Yeah, there was something else that was said, but I think it's a bit too soon on my own personal journey to address it. But just in passing, I'll say, Hore, accepting a gift or something from a person doesn't entitle them to your body. So it's incorrect, highly incorrect, to say that if somebody went to dinner with somebody and the man paid for that dinner, it's almost okay for you to expect the man to think that sex is entitled. For me, that's incorrect. But asikho lapho ngoba izongisa where I don't want to go. But yeah.
I get exactly where you're coming from with that comment. I think what Ausbender was trying to say is, and someone made a comment and said that this is why communication is key. And Lee also made a comment and said communication with comprehension. You know, if a man is going to take out, I made this comment last week, remember, Koki, and I said I remember even when I had a problem with my car and someone else offered to assist, and I knew that person was assisting because he likes me. And I still made a comment to you and I said, I want to accept their help because I need their help, but I don't want to accept their help and now start giving him ideas that there could be a possibility of anything happening between us, because there isn't. You still ask me what your response was. And exactly what we are saying now, Hori, communicate, you know, accept the dinner, accept the assistance, accept the help from a man, but put it out there for them. You know, my dad likes saying, and I'm not saying men must come for me, and I hope this does not come out in a bad way, but banna batwana libana. You know, men are like kids. You almost need to take them through everything that you do with them, so that you guys, also you are saving yourself, you are saving your behind from someone assuming or someone thinking that they're entitled to now you, because I took you out for dinner and then now suddenly you must come to my place, and now I must now have expectations, in short, just because I took out you for dinner or I paid the bill or I assisted you with your car or anything like that. So the whole part of you communicating everything beforehand is trying to put it out in the clear to say, you asked me out on dinner, I've accepted, yes, we'll chill on the table, and it ends there. There is nothing after dinner. You do not owe me. There shouldn't be any expectations. This is what it is, and it just ends here. But I feel that sometimes as women, I get it, we are here talking about us as a collective. We are all women, and so I feel like sometimes we take things light. I'm not gonna say we take things for granted. We take things light. You will do something assuming that, no, he knows. He knows that I'm not there. He knows that I don't want him. I'm just gonna Ntando Sbia says unspoken rules, expectations in society. That's another thing we need to speak about someday. Let me tell you, it is an expectation, and this is exactly why I said to Makupi when that person offered to assist me with my car. I needed the help, but my biggest concern was if I accept his help, what am I saying to him? Ntando, why am I now saying, no, it's fine, I now have the time for you, I'm now going to entertain you, I'm now going to start picking up your calls, I'm now going to start texting you back when you text? For me personally, I'm still very much old-fashioned, because also I know it's a society expectation when someone does something for you, then you must give them something in return. For me, that is always hanging in my head. I can't just walk around accepting things from people, because even though it's not spoken, aguna next la, it is an unspoken thing that once I start accepting whatever from you, you now have an expectation. So this is why it is important for us to, if my dad always says over communicating is better than not communicating. You'd rather give someone more information that they didn't even need, or what they felt they didn't need at that time, but knowing that you are covering your behind. Nothing is going to come after and say someone's not going to come back and say, oh no, but you did this, but this is how you laughed with me, and this is how you were touching me, or you were holding, or this is how you were walking. If you put everything. My dad gave birth to girls when pumpkin. So and I am just so lucky that I would always have these conversations with him. They really helped. So men will say, this is how you spoke to me, and this is how you walked, this is how you laughed. So I felt good, okay, we're on the same page. But if you over communicate and put everything on the table, he can't come back and say, I thought or I assumed, because why are you thoughting when I already said to you that there's nothing? If you wanna take me out for dinner, it's fine. I'll go out on a date with you or whatever, but just know that it's literally just lunch, it's literally just a dinner or whatever, but there's nothing on the tag, there's no label, and there's nothing towards. Yeah, why are you thoughting? You guys will be out here. You guys want to come saying, I thought. That's where everything gets messed up. Utotelan. Why are you thoughting? You're responding to what I said, so I read it from the context. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna let Sis Nano come through. Sis Nano, you missed any entire class.
You missed one more point. I wasn't done.
Oh,
This
Nano,
interruptile. Yeah?
no, I think Sis Nano can come through after you.
Oh, as kiss nanolicious, nanobite. So another thing that Kemang Ausi Brenda said that I completely agree with, though she didn't akainwabanga that much, is that if there's one thing that women from previous generations did I believe they did right, is they allowed men to earn them. Now you go to a dinner with a man, he already knows a full script and he knows exactly which notes to hit. He knows your favorite position. He knows which words to say when you're angry. He know in the first date, he didn't learn these things. He didn't earn you in any way. So why would it stick? First of all, why would it stick? Because like you're saying, men are le nna ke tseba ntho eo ya gore banna ba tshwana le bana. And gore ngwana a tsebe ntho, they have to learn it. They have to earn it. Gore a tsebe gore stofo sa chisa tshwanetse a beye monwana, and then a tsebe gore go a chisa. But if you just say nana go a chisa mole, they don't know what you mean. So this thing of us, no, I am, when I'm angry, just buy me chocolate. When I'm doing this, my love languages are this. Full guide, umofa barking manual,
For
you
free.
know.
For free.
Exactly. So why would he work for you? Men are hunters, like naturally. They are pursuers. So a lion is not going to eat a dead thing. Scavengers. Oh. So yeah, be careful of that, ladies. But women aren't traditional nowadays. Okay, I'm not doing this. Let someone else talk.
And Koketo, we allow it. That's why I said today let us come here and talk about taking accountability. We allow it as women, and this is why one thing also my dad always says is bashiman nowadays abafere. My dad is proper Sotho, guys. He will say bashiman these days abafere. Like it's because also we don't allow them. You know, Lee and Mpunyana will know this. Sometime last year, we had a show. I can't remember what the topic was. And I mentioned, na I'm still one of those, na every person that I've been with sheltered me for at least a minimum of 6 months. And on Saturday, when we met up, Leroy, we spoke about a certain someone. And I said to Lee, no, but I met that person in 2018. And Leroy was like, no, Sabs, but this person, you only now. And I'm like, yeah, that part is only happening now, but we met in 2018, you know. And I'm not saying it makes things easier or that person doesn't cheat on you or you don't get hurt from. It's a different njolo. But all I'm saying is they don't get a free memo, they don't get a free manual without even working for it, you know. Yeah, trust me, I'm very old fashioned. I'm still a 90-day rule kind of woman. And I remember we spoke about this, and the comments from men that I got that day were like, well, now they're not gonna waste. Someone said, yo, Sabs, I used to like you, but now I don't think I'm gonna waste my time and even ask you out if I need to ask you out for 6 months. And I said, also that determines how bad you want something. If this is the type of person that you are, you just give up on things just because things don't go your way, then by all means you were not meant for me, and you were not meant to be in my life from the beginning. So you can stay where you are. Thank you very much. Because how you run after something, how you work for something says how bad you want that thing. So we as women allow men also not to share and not to earn things and not to work hard, because like Makupe is saying, Dina, they already know what buttons to press, they already know what to say to you. Like my daughter, I thought you said you like this and this is what I got you, because you're giving them free memo so they don't have to work hard, you know. Sis Nano, are you good now? I'm not sure if it's your network that is bothering you.
Out of the panel. Like, I don't understand why so much trekking on a Monday. Sanbonan,
How are you?
ngiyaphila njani?
We are well, thank you. We
I
are
think the reason I requested was when I heard you say something about the mother-in-law not being your mother. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I've always had this thought, because I'm a very thoughting person, right? I thought, and then I came to a conclusion. Uguti, we might not necessarily have the right of way of how Abokoko Betu had sustained their marriages, you know, how they were able to conquer and raise our grandmothers and raise our mothers for us to be where we are right now. And I feel women to women, kunezinto ey'ningi that I don't know, is it envy or is it competition? But we've got this thing, man, of not calling each other to order. We've got this thing of celebrating each other by not wanting you to succeed. You know, as Umakupe, I wouldn't want you to have a good husband. I would come and say something. I remember we even had a conversation last week, and Usis Nomsi mentioned ukuthi somebody almost lost umuntu wakhe because of somebody else saying something that they were receiving that was not the truth. And with that being said, I want to give you a scenario of what had happened to me this one time. I'm eating pizza nabantwana. So the youngest one uthanda the part enenyama. So le pate nenyama, then I give him piece wami as well, and he eats lawo piece lawo. Then I had a call. Mase ngikhuluma nalo muntu engikhuluma naye. I got upset, like it became so personal, and I end up saying to this guy, "I'm not okay because I bought pizza, but angidlanga the part enenyama, ngidle the crust." Then it dawned to me ukuthi ama mother-in-laws that are bitter. They are bitter because they go through a lot of things raising their children all by themselves, with the man being at work or with whatever would be happening in their life, so much that they expect their male children to come back and do this thing esibiza ngeblack text today. So with that being said, I then realized ukuthi kwamina, I've got an opportunity or a potential of becoming a bitter mother-in-law because I am a single parent, right? To boys, which are meant to be men later. Now, how does this happen? The sacrifices I make to make sure that my children are okay, my children are well fed, only wires me to say, let me sacrifice my joy, my happiness, and everything that I can give to myself now. But later, I'm expecting these children to also go and work and bring back the bacon to me. So what does that mean? That would mean ukuthi iy'ntombi zabo, abafazi babo would have to suffer dealing with a bitter mother, which would be me by that time, because mina I'm expecting ingane zami ukuthi zingenzele the soft life that I think I had given to them due to sacrifice. So that's one aspect of how I looked at how bitter mothers are created. When you sacrifice yourself for ingane zakho to a point where you believe ukuthi it will pay off later, you then want to hold abantwana bakho hostage in a way. Awufuni bamuve out, awufuni bayenze izinto for abantu babo, and then kuba nama-quarrels because umuntu wesifazane that is coming from outside would not know ukuthi wena mamakhe you had done ama-sacrifices, you slept hungry for him to be fed. Uzibonela umyeni wakhe, you know? So how do we then, as abantu besifazane, have such conversations where we say, Pepisa, we understand it was hard for you to bring up this man that is now my husband, you know, because as he's my husband, he now needs to take irresponsibility of building his own household apart from the household that you think you now deserve, because now seka indoda akuyona indoda yakho, ingane yakho leyo. So I just wanted to highlight that to say what I've noticed in my lifetime, in my realization being with my boys, having a bitter mother-in-law where abantu end up saying things like umamake nami nginomamam. It comes from izinto ezifana nalezo whereby umzali has become bitter due to inhlupheko lezi yena azifake kuzo willingly, then kusasa ufuna ukuthi wonke umuntu amthobele, and then she wants to become a mini god whereby she wants to control impilo kagayi, and then thina abantu besifazane we don't take that well. And then also I just wanted to add on the umamakhe. Mina in my head, I've always had this thing where ekhaya sizalwa siba 4 and I'm the only girl and I'm the firstborn. So ngayitshela ukuthini, I do not have, because ngiyazi ukuthi uma ngigana I need to leave home, right? I'm not so much so going to worry about my mom ukuthi who's going to take care of her when I'm not there, but rather I would rather want to focus on when I would need my mom. It would be at the instant when I'm having children, and then umele maybe angincede ngokuba umtswetsi nani, as you know the African culture is concerned. But otherwise labantwana bakhe abawu-3 bazoba nabo makoti. Now that becomes the responsibilities of the makotis to say, since now that one has moved out ukuthi ayogana kwenye ifamily, now we coming to Ghana to your family, we are responsible for you. So my mother losing 1 daughter, she would then gain 3 more daughters in that process. That was my understanding solo, like as I'm growing. But the way senza ngakhona manje, guys, angisazi mina. But I think I'm just gonna stick to this that I've always had in my head ukuthi umama womyeni wami is definitely my mother, and I have to do whatever necessary to make sure ukuthi she's okay. You know, ngiphinde ngikwazi ukuthi ngimbonge njengomama owangizalela indoda, because now it's like I'm now taking her position, like you mentioned, Sabs, ukuthi amadoda normally we refer to them as abantwana. So if it's like that, siyazi, we even say silly things like wena umpepe emhlana mina ngizompepa ngala. You know, so if that is the case, then I think we need to women have a conversation about the things that still hurt us till this day. And like Untando was saying, the unexpressed expectations. Can we please be able to have a conversation to say, mtanami ngahlupheka mina no banbani, and then I would really love for him to continue taking care of me because I deprived myself this much of my life simply because ngangifuna ukuthi abe ile ndoda ayiyo manje, and I'm happy for you ukuthi usumganele, but somewhat I do want ukuthi anginakekele. Then now as umuntu wesifazane, you go into that relationship, you go into that marriage with that understanding ukuthi, oh, okay, umamazi mina naye sisashera le ndoda, you know. But yeah, that was just my fiber for now.
And let me tell you, Sis Nano, you are not wrong. When you marry Kaboli Roy, Umama Kali Roy has gained a daughter. And it is so sad that when we, the women, when we get married, emagiti bayasiala, and tell you Guti, you are now going khasmangmang. Khasmangmang, they have now gained a daughter. That woman you are going to that side is going to be your mother. You are going to have to take care of her. Hence, if you look at Dala, when mother-in-law would get to a state where sorry, Lee, I just had to make an example with you because I don't want to use but babang, they now start catching strays. So when Umama Zala was on her old age, you know, or Sega Kula, who would take care of Umama Zala? Is it the daughter or the daughter-in-law? It's the daughter-in-law because she has gained a daughter. So it is, for me, it is a Abu Mama Babafana, guys, they need to heal. They need to heal because in the same sense where someone will give birth to a baby boy and then come and say, I was a single mother and I raised him in so much and I went through so much and I struggled with A, B, C, and D. My mom can come also and say, I raised 3 beautiful girls. alone, that I struggled, and I still made sure that they had A, B, C, and D. They got good education and they had everything. And I must now let go of those girls for them ukuthi bahambe bayokwakha and bakhulise umuzi somewhere and leave me alone, because they say when you give birth to baby girls, you're as good as awuzalanga because uzalele omunye umuntu. So if I have to look at this, the one person who should be better, if anyone has to be better, is the person that gives birth to girls, because the girls leave the house to go bayogwaka somewhere else, where else a boy's mother gains a daughter. So why are you bitter? Because you have gained a daughter. You know, so it is said that, like I'm saying, Guti Tina, we are taught that, hi Matlazi, we grow up being taught that when you get married to a family, if they marry you into a family, you go lapo and you become a daughter lapo, and then you get there to be that daughter that you were taught to be, and you find a different script, you know. You must now suffer and be mistreated because someone went through whatever that they went through with raising their kids. What makes you think that my mom went through less? And you know, sometimes it is sickening when I say, because my dad will always say batho batho ba na leng bana ke mme ba bashimane, and bomme bana ba banyana ba tlhaga ko tlharing habana bomme, because they treat us like they picked us up on the side of the road somewhere, when you don't come from a family that had to go through stuff to make sure that you are the person that you are now, that their son had to now come and see a woman in you. And it's that same son who sugelad you when you were chilling at your father's house, sipping on cocktail, and said, hey, I want you. You know, he sugelad me and said he wants me. I now get to this family, and guess what? Boom, boom, boom. I'm seeing flames. It is so messed up. I'm telling you. Sabrina, hello guys. I'm closing.
Hey guys, how you? Alicia, let me put this aside. You know, I love it when women are faced with a conversation of accountability. Here's the reality. Number one, definitely women need to heal. We are carriers, we are receivers. We needed healing from the day we discovered we go on period pains, and we can survive life. That notion on its own has given us the opportunity of believing that we are survivors. Just a free one. Once as a woman you start growing up and you don't realize the importance of your circle and what contributes to your well-being, life becomes tough. The single mothers and their sons, I'm a mother to a boy, and yeah, it's hard and everything, but I doubt I would want somebody that is seeing love and potential that I may have lacked as a mother on a two-pot system actually be destroyed. You know, men should also start being honest to us as women, because rona by free will, we are ready to mother them, because when they approach us, there's certain parts of them that also require healing. But the mothering part of ourselves gets activated. Women need to tone down on that characteristic. Yes, we are nurturers. Yes, we are meant to take care. But we need to align with the context. And that on its own can only be done based on communication. If you and I were to sit down and enjoy a bottle of wine, right, and we talk about our failed relationships, you would actually see how much of them have in common. Acho mina sa mamele, white lamela mamele, ke ngwana mang, right? And at the end of the day, the role of a makoti, one thing we all also have forgotten is it was built. Check out how most mothers-in-laws are those that are far from their sons. They are far from their sons. Their sons meet this wonderful woman. They feel warm. They decide to marry this woman.
most women get into families that they don't know. They take pride in being chosen, but they don't really know, because you want to know why. We don't talk about the part, yeah, babe. Kwalona on a Sunday, like today's Sunday, you and I just had several colors. We're enjoying our bottle of wine, however the living arrangements could ever be, because we live in modern times. Kwalona on a Sunday, what used to happen? We kind of forget that. When I saw Mugutile oxtail with dumpling, baby girl, that was sauteed in a very good bottle of red wine. He probably just had cabbage and dumpling, right? There's a sentimental value in the dumpling part, but you've upgraded it. Do we talk about how an upgrade makes them feel? Do they enjoy it? Do they love where they are currently? What makes them long for their origins? This man that I'm claiming I'm loving, that I fell for the corporate beast. By the way, we fall for the successful man, but we forget that there is the inner child that made sure that he's identified as a man. Do we really get to know that inner child? Do we, when a child wants to cross over the road, right? They look left, right. In most cases, there's an adult that holds their hand in order to make sure that they cross the road safely. Do we do that Haralekom Jolo stage in order for us to cross the road over safely? And then it's something that it's a reality that most of us women are. We are a survival kit. I was having this conversation on Saturday with my friends, and I said, hey dog, we've survived. We've survived a lot. And when we reminisced and we looked at what we survived, we identified that we were actually hurt. That's why we avoided certain instances. So the same also applies that how and he says December he's going home. We all just always let them go home in December, and then they come back at January. Just this one time. Ask if you can book nearby. Hang out with the family. Before lekolo leo le fitlha, because when a man decides to get married, it's a decision he makes on his own. Unless you're a girl that the family knows, like they are familiar with, let's right? When he is from Mapumalanga and you are from the Gautengables, darling, they don't know you. Otlo Fitla Kati Specs with your beautiful voice, probably the most amazing figure, well spoken, they can't relate. Then what do? But create what we call Kasuto Lukoko. They will form a union of hashtag let Sabs fall. She's not for our brother, she's not for my son. Only on the basis that they do not know you. But we also need to take the accountability where we ever open to the idea of getting to know them. Motho wa hao, le robala ko king bed, o hotse a ala kobo e one. Haha. It's probably still the same. In most cases, that's what happens, unless he's a very wise guy that made it. They are also running, but then we nurture their pain more than to communicate and understanding who did I fall in love with. Brenda said it in a very beautiful way. Who did you fall in love with? Did you fall in love with the corporate beast, the successful man that drives the Merc, who smells good? And you don't know how that went about. You just take the story, yeah, dude, like, nah, I went to Vits after. No, there's always more to that. And the more we get to know more of that, gives us access to, babe, I bought your mom the Ferrero Rocher. He has to go and deliver them and say, Ma, usabs athini nike ubani usabs, that's where it starts. Hayi lo ngihlekisana naye, hayi bo sowuyeka ukuba isoka manje usumtholile. That's when, right, the gesture that comes from you according to him in truthness, not in fakeness, right, creates the I want to get to know her, I wanna meet her, right? And once that happens, that's when we know how kanyaliwa, what you can expect. And then we don't need to run away. The dark side of our partners, including us as women's side of the family, it's very important to talk about when you're in a relationship, because in relationships we are investing, we are healing, we are growing. Mina, I do not want, we've been through this before. I'm in my 30s. I do not want to be with a man that is running away from his past. I would rather be with a man that has acknowledged his past, made a conscious decision that it is not tied to him anymore, but respects the characters that contributed to what he doesn't want anymore. That's when we know we are talking healing, we are talking rebuilding, not element of surprise. How when I saw Fitla was now you're going through the most because you're paying for a debt that you don't even know of, that your husband or partner actually had dealt with the family. But it seems like you're the enemy because you took them away. But all you did was to nurture a good man into becoming a good husband. Little did you know that there's a little boy that's still crying in there. That is why we deal with all these factors of abuse, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Because the reality is, there's a storyline that needs to be replayed in this person's life. And because you are now the safe home, because now you are the closest to love or the wished for love from a mother, that's what we deal with. In conclusion, Tloelang Mojol, healer. Yeah.
Liska tlogela mojolo, guys. Liska tlogela mojolo. Please don't listen to Sabrina. Guys, please, by all means, fall in love. Love is the most beautiful thing. If it doesn't work out, we cry, we moan, we grieve, we do everything. But you get up, you dust yourself, and you look for love again. Because the fact that your path just had to cross with someone that was not aligned with you does not mean that there's no love. It doesn't mean that they isn't a great guy or a great partner out there for you. It doesn't mean that love is not beautiful. Please fall in love by all means. Leroy, utsabatsamai, ke kopa utsamai. Mponyana Leroy, you guys deserve each other. Ke kopa le tsamayeng. Anyway, guys, in closing, you know, I have marked so many comments. The biggest thing Asnano said on the comments was, let's go back to the drawing board. Let us go back to the drawing board. Ntando said that do mother-in-laws, especially we are now talking about single mothers that are raising boys, do we not trust our teachings, you know, that we trust our kids Khori, that we trust our kids Khori, they will bring good women, you know. I mean, you trusting your children is you trusting your teachings. Can we heal? Can we heal from everything that we've done for our kids? I mean, in the same respect that now, do you think that you owe your parents for raising you? It's like us now coming now here. If I have to ask all of you guys here one by one, do you think that you owe your parents for bringing you to this world and for raising you up? No. Guys, we can't asikwazi ukunithwalisa imiqhele for stuff that you are supposed to do. We can't clapping hands. We can't. Yo, Koketo always says this. You can't clap hands for a fish to swim because a fish needs to swim. You know, these are your kids. You were supposed to raise them. You were supposed to go all ends for them. You were supposed to go against all odds for them. You are the mother of your kids. Who is supposed to do it for them if it's not you? But don't let whoever that comes into your children's life pay for whatever that you did, because you did not do it for a trophy. You did not do it for a medal. You know, you didn't do it to be given umqhele, but you did it because you were supposed to do it at that time, because they are your kids. You know, even the Bible says that a man will one day leave his home to start his own house. Allow your kids, allow your sons to leave their homes and go start their own homes, and allow them to stand on their own and be men. You know, trust your teachings that they will go out there and apply everything that you have taught them. Trust your teachings. Guys, this was Women to Women with Sabs for this week. This is our segment. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for borrowing imakoya, run down your time. For those that don't know, we've got Ijin, Velagin, please support. DM, do it with an open heart. It's not your listen, sis Nano, listen. And if you do it with an, you should be doing it with an open heart because they're your kids. And let us stop also giving men memos and manuals to how they should be treating us or what buttons to press and all of that. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you feel look at where it all started. Like I said, let's go back to the drawing board. A lot of things that happen to us, and guys, ningang please disclaimer. I'm not saying everything. I am saying a lot of things that happen to us. It's stuff that we could have prevented. It's stuff that if you go back to the drawing board, you realize, had I done this like this, had I said this, had I put this like this, had I walked like this wouldn't have happened. Sometimes we don't have to point fingers at anyone. We just have to stand in the mirror and look at it ourselves and be like, where did I go wrong? How did I get here? Did I have anything that might have made me to find myself where I am now? Take time, do self-introspection, and if you have to take accountability, by all means do. It does not mean anything, but it just means that you are good enough to notice your faults. And let me tell you, you are human, 100% human, because who is perfect in this world? No one is and nothing is. Thank you so much for joining. Please come through tomorrow, guys, 20 past 10. I'm not sure between KG and Leroy who's hosting, but we are definitely having a show tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for borrowing me your time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ke le rata ka love. Goodbye. Bye, Sabrina. Bye, Makupe.
Bye.